Okay, hi guys. I am filming on my cell phone right now for the first time, like, ever, so I don't know how the quality is going to be like. Anyhow, today was kind of like the first official day where I kind of had class at school, and so far most of my classes are okay, because there are people in my classes that I know, so it's not totally awkward. But one class that was like so terrible for me was English, which I had first thing in the morning. And since it was the first class I had today, everybody kind of just trickled in the morning because, everyone's a little bit late, so not everybody was there. When I first went into the classroom, there were only a handful of people, and I wasn't really sure where to sit. So I just sat next to this girl that I was, like, kind of acquainted with, and I wasn't sure if she'd be okay with it, but I didn't think it would be a big deal either. So I just sat there, and we don't really say anything besides the usual, what are your courses this year, which I think is totally stupid to ask, because chances are you're going to forget later anyways. Might as well just go to class and figure out who's going to be in that block. Anyhow, later on, this other girl, she sits across from the classroom. Now, the girl who's sitting next to me, I could just be totally paranoid, and the situation might have been entirely in my head, but I swear, she points over at me, rolls her eyes to communicate to this girl across the classroom, like, oh god, she sat next to me, which shouldn't be a surprise, because that's kind of the general reaction I get from most people. But the fact that she was so undiscreet about it, like, she was terrible. Most people just kind of roll their eyes and go, like, head tilt. But she put the hand out and pointed like this towards me, because I was sitting towards her left. And I could see it. And at that instant, perhaps I was paranoid, but all I could think was, what a bitch. I can't believe she did that. Because I generally think of her as being a nice person, but I felt as though she was signaling, like, oh gosh, why is she sitting next to me? I asked the girl later, like, who was sitting across, who got signaled this message. Is this getting confusing? Anyways, yeah, so I asked her, like, what did this girl signal to you? And she said, oh no, she was just saying that you sat next to her and blah blah blah. I was like, are you a bad liar, or is that actually what she said? Anyhow, not a good start. The girl who was sitting next to me here in my English class eventually moved, and maybe I was right. Maybe she was that significantly unimpressed with my presence beside her. But my friend sat next to me afterwards, so it was all good. But that was kind of a bad day, a bad way to start my day. I was really disappointed that anybody would actually be so rude. I didn't expect that, and I didn't expect that especially out of that particular person. So, that was my first day at school.